Hello, my name is Anthony Niosi. Our Global Real Estate Investment Origination, or GREIO department, is here to introduce you to an array of real estate investment opportunities. Your Citibank private banker has chosen this presentation to acquaint you with investments which may be appropriate additions to your portfolio. The GREIO department of the Citibank Private Bank originates referral transactions, by which we mean stabilized properties on which Citibank or an affiliate may lend, as well as structured transactions or value creation opportunities in which a Citicorp entity may co-invest. GREIO is staffed with a highly experienced team of professionals qualified to conceive and execute timely real estate investment strategies. Tom McDaniel, one of GREIO's senior investment originators, works closely with today's featured operating partner, Tishman Heskin.
On behalf of the Citicorp co-investment entity, GREIO strategies consider tenant mix and quality, construction and absorption dynamics of the local market, capital market conditions, and property-specific competitive analyses. At the present point in the real estate operating and capital market cycles, we in the group believe that real estate offers superior risk-adjusted returns. GREIO identifies real estate operators who have the ability to select, manage, add value to, and dispose of real estate assets in markets nationwide at a profit. We then co-invest our own capital in these transactions where we believe these profits are most likely to be achieved. Tishman Heskin Partners is one such operator chosen after extensive due diligence to be an operating partner for value-added investment activity across the United States. Next, you'll meet Alan Tishman of the Tishman Construction and Real Estate family, who over 3 generations literally changed the face of the United States. Enter the Heskin Group, experienced with a broad range of investment strategies needed in today's mixed bag of real estate opportunities. Working together as a team for the last 6 years, Tishman Heskin Partners have proven their ability to create value through sound management and a thorough knowledge of property repositioning across the U.S. To date, we have successfully executed subscriptions for several co-investment transactions with Tishman Heskin Partners, which have included a Citibank private bank client and a Citicorp investment entity. Your private banker will be pleased to provide complete disclosure and answer any questions you may have regarding co-investment in Tishman Heskin projects.
Well, the background of our company dates back to 1898, so it's our 100th anniversary. The company was started by a grandfather of mine. He formed a little company called Julius Tishman and Sons. My father, the oldest of 5 brothers, was graduating from law school at NYU, and they got a little something going. Didn't do a heck of a lot before World War I hit. And when the war was over, they were out of service, and Julius Tishman and Sons started to do apartment houses up and down Park Avenue, all the way up to 86th Street, which was sort of a northern boundary. And shortly thereafter, 1928, they, of all things, broke the barrier of 86th Street. Around 1928, Lehman Brothers, Wall Street, approached them and said they would like to make this a public company. And they called it Tishman Realty and Construction Company Incorporated. So that happened in the end of 1928 and early 29, just before the big crash in 1929. The Depression was a terrible depression. The brothers staggered through it. War was declared in 41, as we all know, and we were in the service. Then the war was over, and my father called me and said they'd like me back in the business. And the very first thing that was built was breaking into new territory, Park Avenue. There were no regulations, no laws that did not permit most anything we wanted on Park Avenue of all things, and therefore we built the first office building on Park Avenue. 445 Park was the first post-war, fully air-conditioned office building. Universal Pictures moved in, and from there on, we started to do more Park Avenue building, as did others. The ice was broken. My father happened to be in California on a social visit in Los Angeles, staying at the Ambassador Hotel, and he saw this driving range right by the hotel in mid-Wilshire. There was room for 3 buildings, about 160,000 square feet each, and we'll build one at a time, but the Korean War hit around 51 as the first building was, I believe, nearing completion. And my father said, if this war goes on, we'll never get any more steel. It'll all go for the armed services, and we better build all 3. I was scared to death to have 3 buildings this size. We all had arguments about it. We built the 3. They got completed. Steel was cut off, and the buildings rented up. And as a result, we started to build more and more in Los Angeles. In the 60s, we had a contact in Chicago. There were 2 very important pieces of property there, the Union Station and the Northwestern Station. All the commuters into Chicago came in one or the other of those stations. They then had to go over the bridges to the Loop, to their office space. And we figured, why should people in this modern day and age have to do that? The first building was built in 64. We called it Riverside Plaza. We then built the second building, and we followed it up with a third building over the years, 200 South Riverside. By then, this area was established. In the late 70s, we brought the public company back into private ownership. When Tishman Management and Leasing was formed, I separated into 3 subsidiaries: Tishman East Management, Tishman Midwest Management, and Tishman West Management, covering New York, Chicago, and California. With the recession of 1989 to 92, 3, 4, 5, it was a terrible blow in real estate. The federal government decided that in order to help the banks, they relieved them of the real estate and the defaulted mortgages, took them into something called the Resolution Trust Corporation. All these properties had to go out for bid, a Herculean task for the government. We met a company called Heskin that the RTC were using. They also were very knowledgeable in real estate, and we decided, and they decided, let's get together. We could make a great team and pick up these properties among the 2 companies, forming one called Tishman Heskin, where we are today.
Tishman Heskin Partners couples the vast real estate experience of the Tishman Group with Heskin's current cutting-edge valuation and analysis techniques. We approach every asset from an owner's perspective. We only manage our own assets. Therefore, we're involved from the initial strategy for the asset, its ongoing management, repositioning if needed, to its ultimate disposition.
The first deal we did was the Novi transaction, which was a $177 million offering by the RTC. There were 3 segments being offered. We bought the Texas-Louisiana piece, which was a $70 million portion. And it consisted of 14 buildings, a little over 1 million square feet. Markets were very bad, and the buildings were in poor condition. And all of those markets were not yet at their bottoms. The most difficult task was analyzing and repositioning each of these, which each required us a distinct solution. We were able to significantly exceed our projections. We returned for our investors a better than 100% return and a year early.
Over the past 3 years, Tishman Heskin has invested in approximately 50 real estate assets. They're a combination of, I think, 35 properties and 15 mortgage loans. All of these partnerships to date are operating on track, that is both in terms of the timing, projected, and expected returns. In addition, Tishman Heskin professionals have performed due diligence and financial advisory services on over 2,000 commercial real estate assets nationwide, totaling in excess of $1 billion. We became affiliated with Grubb & Ellis in 1989 when they purchased Tishman East. Grubb & Ellis provides Tishman Heskin Partners with the current local knowledge necessary in order to both underwrite and manage these real estate investments. They really provide the on-the-ground experience in most markets nationwide, but in particular in markets where we're making investments. We first look at individual submarkets across the country, and these submarkets must exhibit the appropriate criteria. These are submarkets with a networking economy, a basic glue that provides a reason for being there. Two key components are some involvement with the new information technologies, which we believe is the engine driving the United States economy presently, and a 24-hour city. Once we have identified the location, the specific submarket that exhibit the appropriate criteria, then we look for the appropriate investment. We look for investments we can make that are substantially below replacement cost, where buildings are underleased, undermanaged, or need some repositioning vis-a-vis the current marketplace. Prior to making the acquisition, we spend a lot of time measuring the possible downside risk. We want to make sure that if things aren't going our way, that in addition to being in a stable economic environment with stable fundamentals, we also have alternate strategies for the asset. We found that Citicorp's GREIO division complemented our efforts and fit nicely with the investment program we wanted to implement. Therefore, we became an operating partner approximately 12 months ago.
The network economy that exists in the Silicon Valley, the cluster of the high-tech information companies, the availability of the workforce, the fact that this is an industry that is growing and growing, this is where anyone wants to be who is in this industry, be they a company, be they a worker. This is the place to be. We purchased 3 buildings, 2 two-story office R&D and 1 one-story office R&D in the Golden Triangle, North San Jose submarket of the Silicon Valley. Purchase price was well below replacement costs at approximately 68%, with rent levels at approximately 62% of current market rates. At the time of the purchase, the buildings were 100% occupied by 2 credit tenants, with both leases significantly below market rates and due to expire in 2001. The strategy in the investment was to acquire the buildings and sit with the leases with the 2 credit tenants, and either roll the leases at the market rates at the time that the leases expire, or approach the tenants early on and see if we can get them to renew and extend their leases. Buildings were acquired approximately 6 months ago, and to date, all is going according to projections.
The Metro West submarket of the Greater Boston is a destination for high-tech companies, biotechnology companies, research and development companies. Demand there is at an all-time 15-year high. Rents have risen in excess of 25% in the last 15 months, with a real scarcity of developable land in the near future. In the Metro West submarket, we acquired a two-story office R&D building of approximately 66,000 square feet. This building is presently 97% occupied. The majority of the space is leased to 3 credit tenants. These tenants' leases are in excess of 35% below the current market. Our strategy for this asset will be to control our capital costs during the near term, approach our tenants in order to renew their leases before their scheduled expirations. We will increase property level NOI and either refinance, returning our equity to our investors, or sell the property, hopefully 24 months ahead of schedule.
Citibank handled all of our construction loans for all the construction we did around the country, and they were wonderful people to work with. As a result, today we felt that Citibank would be an ideal partner with us in the work that we're doing under Tishman Heskin.
To pursue this opportunity further, please inform your Citibank private banker.
As with all GREIO transactions, you will receive regular reports via the Citibank Private Bank regarding the status of your investment, including complete and accurate financial statements.
Contact your private banker for more information, and thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit about Tishman Heskin Partners.
Thank you.